Welcome to While We Were Distracted, the podcast where we explore topics that often get overshadowed in the rush of daily life. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. It really helps.
All right, so get this. You ready?
I'm ready.
What if I told you we've actually, tilted the Earth?
Okay.
And by we, I mean humanity, physically shifted its axis,
Wow.
pumping groundwater. That's the crazy stuff we're diving into today. We've got two sources talking about a recent scientific study revealing that groundwater pumping has, get this, tilted the Earth's axis
Yeah.
by 31.5 inches
Hmm.
in less than 2 decades.
It's pretty mind-blowing, right? It really shows you just how interconnected everything is.
Yeah.
You know, we think of the Earth's axis as this, fixed, unchanging thing.
Right, yeah, totally.
But this study, published in Geophysical Research Letters.
Oh, wow, geophysical research letters.
Yeah. Shows just how wrong we are.
Yeah, I'll admit my knowledge of the Earth's axis is pretty much limited to is what makes the seasons. But this study is saying that our actions, like what we do every day, are actually shifting it.
Yeah.
I'm still not getting how taking water out of the ground is tilting the whole planet.
So think about it like, those spinning tops.
Yeah.
If you add a tiny bit of weight to one side, it changes how it spins.
Right.
Well, the Earth's kind of like a giant spinning top.
Oh, okay.
And when we pump massive amounts of groundwater, we're shifting that weight, causing the axis to tilt.
Gotcha. So it's all about this mass redistribution thing.
Right.
But how much water are we talking about here?
It's a crazy amount. This study suggests that between 1993 and 2010, humans pumped over 2,150 gigatons of groundwater.
2,150 gigatons.
Yeah. To put that in perspective, that's enough water to fill the Arctic Ocean
Oh.
twice.
Okay, that's way more water than I was picturing.
Right.
And one of the sources even compared it to adding a tiny weight to a spinning top.
Yeah.
So that really helps to visualize it.
Exactly. And it's not happening uniformly across the globe either.
Okay.
The study pinpointed Western North America
Oh, interesting.
and Northwestern India
Yep.
as the major contributors because they rely so heavily on groundwater for agriculture and just their needs.
But hold on. So if those regions are pumping that much water, wouldn't that have some pretty serious consequences? For those places?
Absolutely.
Beyond tilting the Earth.
Right. We're talking about potentially dire consequences.
Yeah.
Take California, for example.
Yeah.
Years of excessive pumping have led to significant land subsidence.
What is that?
So that's literally the ground is sinking
Oh, wow.
in parts of the state,
Jeez.
which impacts their infrastructure, agriculture, and everything.
Right.
And it's directly linked to this phenomenon we're talking about.
So this isn't just the Earth tilted a bit, no big deal.
Yeah.
This is real world consequences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chain reaction.
Wow.
And speaking of chain reactions, this tilt, this shift, it's not just impacting the Earth's form, it's also messing with time.
Wait, what? How does pumping groundwater affect time?
Have you ever heard of a leap second?
Vaguely. Honestly, I thought that was just my phone glitching.
So the Earth's rotation, it's not like a perfect clock.
Right.
It can speed up or slow down due to things like this mass redistribution.
From the groundwater pumping.
Right. And when those changes build up, we need a leap second to keep our clocks in sync.
So is this tilting going to mess up our leap seconds?
It may. Predictions were saying we'd need to add a leap second in 2026.
Okay.
This shift could push that to 2029.
Wow. It's wild to think that something we're doing every day could potentially change the length of a year.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It raises some pretty big questions about unintended consequences of our actions, which we'll get into after.
Yeah, that's a great point. Okay,
Yeah.
let's dive into that. So we've established that pumping groundwater is tilting the Earth, messing with time.
Yeah.
But what I really want to know is what can we do about it?
Right.
This feels like a massive problem.
Yeah.
Are we just doomed?
Okay, so dramatic image,
Yeah.
but it's not quite that dire.
Okay. You.
The situation is serious, yeah, but it's not hopeless. We're the ones causing this,
Right.
which means we can change it.
Okay, so where do we even begin? What are the solutions?
Well, I think awareness is a big one,
Yeah.
which is what we're doing right now,
Right.
understanding the problem. And then it comes down to sustainable water management.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We need to reduce our reliance on groundwater, especially in those regions we talked about.
Western North America and northwestern India.
Right, where they're pumping so much.
So are we talking about finding alternative water sources.
Exactly. Rainwater harvesting, more efficient irrigation,
Oh, okay.
even like investing in desalination, which has its own considerations, but.
Right, of course.
And it's not just large-scale solutions either. We all need to be mindful of our own water usage.
Wait, are you saying my long, luxurious showers are contributing to the Earth tilting?
Every little bit helps.
Okay.
I mean, not luxurious, but definitely shorter showers.
Okay.
Okay, fair. So it's a collective effort, like both individuals and governments making changes.
Exactly. Individuals making conscious choices,
Yeah.
but also governments implementing like policies and incentives to promote sustainable water use.
Okay, that makes sense. But let's be realistic here.
Right.
These changes take time.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, the axis is shifting.
Right.
So what are the long-term implications if we don't fix this?
Well, we've talked about rising sea levels,
Yeah.
and that's a big one. Potentially displacing millions of people
Right.
who live in coastal areas,
Yeah.
increased erosion, more frequent flooding.
And like beyond those immediate impacts on coastal communities, are there like other broader consequences?
Yeah, definitely. Remember how the Earth's axis kind of dictates our seasons and weather patterns?
Right.
Well, changing that tilt can throw things off.
Yeah.
You could see more extreme weather events, like droughts, heat waves,
Okay.
disrupted ocean currents. It's all connected.
So it's like a giant, terrifying domino effect. Exactly. And it's worth remembering all of this is happening alongside the other climate change impacts we're already dealing with.
Right.
This is adding fuel to the fire.
Okay, so we're messing with the planet in a major way.
Yeah.
And that's obviously bad. But how does this relate to the Anthropocene? You mentioned that earlier.
Right.
I'm not really sure how that fits in here.
So the Anthropocene is this proposed name
Okay.
for a new geological epoch,
Okay.
defined by humans' impact on Earth.
Hmm.
Some people argue we're already in it.
So you're saying that tilting the Earth because of our groundwater use is like proof that we've entered this Anthropocene age.
It's definitely evidence.
Okay.
It shows that we're not just impacting the surface, but we're altering its mechanics,
Oh, wow.
its rotation. And it asks the question, like, what are we leaving behind?
For future generations.
That's exact.
That's a big question. So how does understanding this Anthropocene concept, how does that help us?
Well, it helps us see the bigger picture. It reminds us that climate change and this tilting, it's not just random.
Yeah.
It's all symptoms of a larger change in our relationship with the planet.
So it's about recognizing that everything is connected
Yeah.
and our actions have ripple effects.
Exactly. And it's about recognizing that we have choices. Do we continue down this unsustainable path,
Yeah.
disrupting the Earth, or do we choose a different path,
Right.
one that's more sustainable, more balanced?
So it's not about doom and gloom. It's about understanding we can shape the future.
Exactly. The Anthropocene isn't just a label, it's a call to action.
Right, yeah.
We're shaping the future. We have the responsibility to choose what kind of future that's going to be.
Wow, lots to think about.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the problem, the consequences, potential solutions. Anything else we need to cover? So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
Yeah.
From tilting the Earth to rising sea levels and even like the Anthropocene.
Right.
Honestly, it's easy to feel overwhelmed.
I get that. It's heavy stuff for sure.
Yeah.
But I think we got to end on a positive note,
Okay, yeah, I agree.
not just doom and gloom.
Okay, but how do we go from overwhelmed to like actually empowered?
Well, we have to remember that even though we're tilting the Earth,
Yeah.
we can still act, you know?
Right.
Humans are resourceful. We can adapt.
We've faced tough challenges before and overcome them.
Exactly.
Like we put people on the moon, we
right.
got rid of some diseases, we even invented the internet.
Yeah, exactly. We can solve problems
Right.
when we put our minds to it.
Totally. So this groundwater situation,
Yeah,
it's a challenge,
it is.
but it's solvable.
Exactly. We need a change in perspective. We
Mhm.
need to be willing to change what we're doing, and we got to work together.
So it's not about giving up, it's about taking action.
Right. And understanding that we all have the power to make a difference.
Yeah, every little thing we do matters.
Every choice.
Like what we eat, how we travel, how much water we use.
Right. It all adds up.
It's like we're not just along for the ride, we're actually shaping the planet's future.
Exactly.
So being mindful about what we buy,
Yeah.
supporting policies that are sustainable,
Right.
and even getting other people involved.
Absolutely. Every change can make a difference. And when enough of us make changes,
Yeah.
it becomes a huge force for good.
I love that. Like even with all these huge problems,
Yeah,
there's still hope, and individual actions really do matter.
they really do.
And we're not starting from nothing. there are already so many people and groups working on a better future.
Yeah.
So we can join them, learn from them, and use our own skills to help out.
Exactly.
This isn't like a solo mission, it's a team effort.
It is a global collaboration.
And honestly, that's super inspiring.
It is. It's realizing that we're all connected, we're all sharing this planet,
Yeah.
and we have a shared responsibility to take care of it.
Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive on tilting the Earth,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with a thought, something to think about.
Mm.
We've talked a lot about groundwater pumping, but it's just one example, right,
Yeah.
of how we impact the planet.
It's one symptom of a much bigger issue.
Exactly. So here's my question
Okay.
for everyone listening. What are you doing in your own life that might have a bigger impact than you realize?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's going to get people thinking.
Yeah, it's about remembering that we can all make a difference.
That's a great note to end on.
Absolutely. So until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and keep making choices that make the world a better place.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So stay tuned.
Please take a moment to like and subscribe. It really helps.